Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Hooligoon. Today I'm going to show you how to ride a motorcycle. I realized in my last video that I did not talk about my bike in particular, and here she is in all her beauty. She's a GSXR 600 2008, has about 10,000 miles on her. The only aftermarket things, not really aftermarket, if you look here you'll notice there's not a muffler, and that is because it was cut off down here at the heat shield. And I have my Mew passenger, and I have a shorty clutch lever, but that's all. That's the only things that aren't stock on my bike. So yeah, let's get into it. So actually the first thing I'm going to talk about is the proper way to get on a bike, and that might sound a little weird to you, but you don't want to get on the bike from your right side. And the reason that is if you think about it, when you're getting on the bike, you're putting all your weight onto it, right? And your kickstand's on your left side. So if you're putting all your weight over, the bike's already leaning to the left, so if you're putting all your weight over to the left, there's a chance that you can knock your bike over the kickstand and knock it over, and then that's not a good time. So let's get into it. First, you're gonna step over, obviously. First thing I'm going to talk about is what all the controls are and what they do. So obviously you have your kickstand. I'm not going to put that up yet. So you have your pegs, and you put your feet up on your pegs once you get rolling. Once you get the bike moving, the bike will balance itself. You put your feet up on your foot pegs when you actually get rolling. So on your left foot peg, you have that's your gear selector, your shifter, whatever you want to call it. And on your right foot peg is your rear brake. And then on your handlebars, on your left handlebar doesn't move. Left thumb is going to be your turn signals / your horn. That's standard for pretty much all bikes. Your headlights are also standard on your left hand for pretty much all bikes. And then your left handlebar is going to have your left lever is going to be your clutch lever. And on your right handlebar, you have your kill switch, your starter button. Your right lever is going to be your front brakes, and your front brakes are going to be from where almost all of your stopping power comes from. And then obviously your right handlebar is your throttle. So once you feel comfortable with all the controls, go ahead and turn your bike on. Flip your fuel switch, turn your fuel system on. Make sure your bike is in neutral. Neutral. The way your gearbox works is, the way your transmission works is, first is going to be all the way down. The motorcycles have sequential gearboxes, so it's going to be unlike a car where it's an H pattern, so it's first, second, third, fourth. It's just first is the bottom, second, third, fourth. You have to go through each gear to get to the gear above it. You can't skip gears. So first, second is going to be a click up from first, so on and so forth. And then neutral on almost all bikes is in between first and second. So put your bike in neutral. My bike, you have to pull the clutch regardless, but most bikes, if your bike's in neutral, you can just go ahead and hit your start switch. But if you're not in neutral, you have to pull the clutch anyways. But if you are in neutral, go ahead and press your start button and start her up. And then you're going to want to go ahead and find yourself a nice big open parking lot like I have here. So then once you get the bike started, put your kickstand up. Obviously you're going to have to do that to start it more than likely, or to put it in gear you're going to have to put your kickstand up. So go ahead and put it down in the first gear, like so. And then to get the bike rolling, there's actually a bunch of people walking their kids. This is really awkward. But to get the bike rolling, the easiest way I would recommend to start would be actually not using your throttle and just letting the clutch out as slow as possible. And you'll feel it start to catch. Your RPMs will drop, like so, and you'll start to roll just a little bit. The bike will start to roll. And the easiest way to learn how to ride, I think, is to just start finding that catch point and letting the bike roll and just kind of walking with it. And once you get rolling, like literally I'm doing 2 miles an hour, you can pick your feet up, the bike will balance itself. But once you get rolling at all, and look, no hands, yeah, I can get the bike completely rolling without even ever touching the throttle. It's pretty simple, honestly, and that's the easiest way to learn the catch point of your clutch and learn how to get the bike rolling, is to just let your clutch out to that catch point, and then just keep letting it out nice and smooth until you get the bike rolling. That's actually, let me explain the concept of a catch point, because if you've never driven a manual transmission in a car, that could be kind of confusing. So the way a clutch works is the clutch pairs your engine to your transmission. So if you just go ahead and dump the clutch, I'll actually show what that, you're going to stall. What's going to happen is your engine's not going to have enough power to turn your back wheel / get your bike rolling, and you're going to stall. And that happens if you let the clutch out too fast. And that's what that is. That was a stall, and that's what's going to happen if you let the clutch out too fast. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to let that clutch out nice and slow. Feel that catch point and keep letting it out nice and smooth, nice and slow. If you feel that catch point and you dump it, you're going to stall it, like I just did. And that was my biggest problem with learning to ride a bike. I've always driven a manual transmission, but the way a clutch works on a car is car clutches are dry clutches. So when you catch that catch point, you pretty much essentially you don't dump the clutch, but you let off the clutch pretty quick. On a motorcycle, you catch the catch point and you keep rubbing it out nice and smooth. That's the easiest way. That's the biggest difference between a car and a clutch. When you get on a bike, you're gonna want, if you drive a manual, or if you've driven a manual transmission in a car, you're gonna want to hit that catch point and just dump the clutch, and then you're gonna stall 1 or 2. It's not gonna be a very smooth start. But yeah, so I'll give a few more demonstrations on just how to get rolling without the throttle. Just let the clutch out nice and easy, pick your feet up, and you are rolling. And then once you get comfortable doing that, obviously you add a little throttle into it, and that's how you get rolling at a good pace, like so. So next I'm gonna go ahead and talk about shifting real quick. So let's say you get rolling, you get up into your power band, and it's time to shift. This is actually the easiest thing. All you're gonna do is get rolling, pull your clutch, 1 shift up, 2nd gear, back on throttle. 1 click up, 3rd gear, back on throttle, and then back down. And that leads me into one more thing I think I need to cover for a basic demonstration is rev matching, or downshifting and rev matching. And I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate like what the concept of rev matching is, because a lot of people don't understand it. So what rev matching is, so say you want to downshift, you either A, want more power, or B, you're slowing down for a corner, whatever the instance is, you're downshifting, right? And this is just a completely random example. Let's say you're in 4th gear doing 5,000 RPMs at 50 miles an hour. And you want to maintain 50 miles an hour, but you want to drop to 3rd gear. So in 4th gear, if you're at 5,000 RPMs, 3rd gear is going to be at a higher RPM because it's a smaller gear, it's going to turn faster. So 3rd gear is going to be at a higher RPM, so what you're going to do is you're going to blip your throttle to bring your revs up to the gear that you're dropping to, aka rev matching it to the gear. And I'm going to give you a quick little demonstration of what that looks like real quick. So I'm going to get up to 3rd gear real quick. So 3rd gear, I'm a little low on my RPMs, I want to drop to 2nd. And it's literally just a quick little blip of the throttle, pull the clutch, and drop it down. I can even rev match it down in the 1st real quick. And that's how you rev match. I'm trying to think if I think I've covered everything for the basics on how to get riding in a parking lot. Oh, the one thing that's gonna really freak you out when you go to practice, like for the first time riding a bike, and the hard thing, like one concept that's gonna really throw you off is if you're stopped and you have to turn. Or just turning in general is gonna feel really weird to you. And the best thing I can, the best tips I can give you are just like point your bars where you want to go and go for it. The bike's not gonna tip over unless you like really get your bar, like lean the bike over at really low speeds. If you, like literally, I have my bars turned as far as I can doing 2, and I'm doing a pretty tight circle, and I don't feel, you're not gonna fall off as long as you don't stop. As long as you're not turned way like locked over, you're not gonna fall over. And as long as you're going above, I'd say 5, in that 5 mile an hour range, as long as the bike's rolling and you're not completely locked over, you're not gonna tip it. But other than that, I would just say just keep riding in small circles like that. You're eventually going to get your circles smaller and smaller. It's going to, when you first start to work on your turns, your circles are going to be big and huge like this because it's going to feel terrifying. And then the better and better you get, you run smaller and smaller circles. And you just, it's really just learning how to turn a bike is a completely 100% feeling thing. That's all there is to it. And if you feel like you are going to fall over it, do what I just did, like literally just put your foot down and catch yourself. Be gentle with your front brakes, because especially on a sport bike, your front brakes are really grabby. That's all your braking power. I'll go ahead and demonstrate that real quick actually. All your braking power comes from your front brakes. I'll go ahead and get up to 15 and go ahead and stop with just my rear brake, and then I'll do just my front brake, and then I'll do them both. So 15, slam on my rear brake, stop. 15, slam on my front brake, a lot quicker. Like all your braking power is on your front brakes. I'd say 80%. Yeah, I think I covered everything on the basics on how to get rolling in a parking lot. Like I said, yeah, just find a nice big open parking lot like this where you have all kinds of space. There's not really anything to hit, not really too many people to piss off, and you should be good. It'd take an hour, and that's about all the time you're going to need. It's really not as hard as people think it is. Riding a motorcycle is pretty simple, especially if you've driven a manual transmission before. It's damn near the same exact thing. It's just a feeling difference. But yeah guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, peace. Hey guys, real quick, first off, happy 420. This video should be uploaded today. Should be pretty easy to edit. Today is 420 when I'm recording this. And second, I wanted to go ahead and talk about scheduling real quick and like when I'm gonna get videos posted. My planning is to upload videos on Mondays and Fridays. That way I have time to shoot video over the weekend, get it edited, upload it on Monday, and then I can get one video a week, like Monday through Friday, upload it on Friday, shot and edited. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. There could be some variance in that, like if it rains on some days and I can't get a video shot, it could be like a day earlier or a day later, like how I plan around it. But yeah, that's just, I wanted to get that in real quick, and yeah, peace out.